You know what's funny? I used to spend entire nights lying in bed, imagining the life I wanted, overthinking every little step, picturing how I would look, who I would be, how it would all feel if I finally did the thing I kept talking about. And then the sun would rise and I'd do nothing. It's so easy to talk about what you want to do. So easy to write lists, to watch other people do it, to say someday. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the right moment, the right mindset, the right sign from the universe. But days slip by, weeks turn into years, and suddenly you realize you've become really good at the thinking you gag about starting, but you've never actually started. I think most of us don't even realize how heavy the fear is. It sits on your shoulders so long it feels normal, like a silent roommate in your mind that keeps whispering, "You're not ready. You'll embarrass yourself. You're going to fail." I remember a summer where I swore I was going to start running every morning. I even bought shoes, laid out a playlist, watched motivational videos before bed. The first morning, my alarm went off at 6. I looked at my ceiling for 30 minutes and turned it off. I kept telling myself I was tired or that I'd start tomorrow. But deep down, I was just terrified of feeling slow, of looking stupid to people passing by. I didn't want to confirm that I was as unfit as I felt. That's the trap. You wait until you feel ready, but you never really do. The scary part is no one really pushes you to start. Everyone claps when you talk about your big plans. They say, "That sounds amazing," when you tell them what you'll do one day. But they forget. They move on. You're the one left alone with the unfinished dreams. There's something I started to realize lately. No one's coming to save you from the waiting. No one's going to show up and force you out of your comfort zone. You can read all the quotes, listen to all the speeches, but at some point you have to stand up and do something so small it almost feels pointless. Like writing one sentence instead of planning a whole book, walking to the corner instead of running 5 kilometers, recording 1 minute of a video instead of overthinking the perfect script. That first small move, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to exist. I used to watch other people post videos or share their art and think they must be so brave, so confident, but most of them aren't. They just started before they knew how. I think about how many ideas died in my notes app, how many drafts I deleted because I thought no one would care, how many chances I ignored because I didn't feel good enough yet. And you know what's weird? The people who actually do things, they're not always the most talented or the most ready. They're just the ones who didn't let the fear stop them long enough to try. I started to notice that life feels more alive when you're in motion, even if you're moving clumsily. You feel more real when you're risking something, even if it's small. We wait for signs that we're ready. We wait for a big moment to tell us, go. But sometimes the sign is the quiet ache you feel at night, that restless itch that tells you you're meant for more than just thinking about it. I used to think starting meant becoming a whole new person overnight, but it's not. It's choosing a tiny action over another day of silence. It's picking up the pen, pressing record, lacing up the shoes, even if it feels awkward, even if it feels like you're faking it. I still remember the first time I published something I wrote. My hands were shaking. I kept checking if anyone saw it, if they laughed at it, if they thought it was pathetic. But a strange thing happened. Even though it wasn't perfect, even though barely anyone saw it, I felt a small spark, like something shifted inside me. That spark isn't confidence, it's not certainty, it's not even pride, it's relief. Relief that you're finally moving, finally proving to yourself that you can exist outside your mind. We think the world is watching, waiting to judge us, but most people are too busy worrying about their own fears to even notice us starting. And even if they do notice, so what? You're the one who has to live with your own regrets, not them. I started doing this small thing whenever I feel stuck. I ask myself, What's the smallest possible step I can take right now? Not the perfect step, not the final goal, just the tiniest move that pushes me forward. Sometimes that means writing one messy paragraph. Sometimes it means posting something cringe. Sometimes it's telling one friend about an idea. It doesn't matter how small it is, just that it's real. Maybe you're scared people will laugh. Maybe you're scared you'll prove to yourself that you're not good enough. But honestly, you already feel that fear every day, even when you're not trying. At least if you move, you give yourself a chance to feel something different. I had this friend once who always wanted to learn guitar. He kept saying he was waiting for the right moment, for a better guitar, for lessons to get cheaper. Years went by. One day he told me he finally started, and I asked him what changed. He just said, "I got tired of hating myself for not trying." That stuck with me. You don't start because you believe you'll succeed. You start because you're tired of living in the maybe. What if your future self isn't waiting for you to be perfect? What if they're just waiting for you to be real? The regret of not trying is so much heavier than the embarrassment of failing. It's okay to move slowly. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to look lost. All of it is okay, as long as it's real. Some nights I imagine my future self sitting somewhere, watching me hesitate, waiting for me to finally take that first step. I don't know if that version of me is happier, or more successful, or braver, but I know they're more free. And maybe freedom isn't about having everything figured out. Maybe it's just about finally choosing to move, even if you're terrified. And you know what else? Even if no one notices at first, even if you feel invisible, you'll still know. You'll know you didn't abandon yourself. You'll feel that quiet pride that can't be faked. The kind that comes from actually showing up for your own life. We spend so much time worrying about applause, about approval, about being impressive, but maybe the most impressive thing is simply being real, showing your cracks, your awkward first tries, your raw edges. You don't need permission to start. You don't need the perfect setup or the perfect mindset. You just need that small spark inside you that says, "I'm ready to stop waiting." One day, you'll look back and realize the moment you decided to move, however small, was the moment your life really began. It's funny. The more I start, the more I realize how many doors open when you stop worrying about who's watching. You might find friends you never expected, new parts of yourself you never met, quiet moments of pride that don't need applause. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel brave. You just have to take one tiny step. So start badly. Start awkwardly. Start unsure. Just start. I believe in you. Now believe in yourself.